Hey Vicky, this is Mrs. Skogland. Just wanted to give you a little bit of feedback on your summer assignment. And so we're mostly going to be talking through this chapter 2 question since that was the one that you starred, but I'll kind of reference some of the other parts of your assignment as we're going through as well. So the first thing that I looked for in your paragraph was a topic sentence, which we want to sort of like answer this question in a concise way and preview what's coming in the paragraph. And so I think, Vicky, you had a topic sentence that did reference the topic, but notice you sort of just restated what the question had. So you're explain the ideas of how, the 3 A's, abundance, Asia, automation, affects our directed thinking. And you kind of just said they do shape business and careers today. I think maybe focus more on that how. So don't go into too much detail here, but give me a little bit of how has this happened so that once you get into that in that paragraph, I have a little bit more information. Also, the next thing I looked at is actually at the end of the paragraph, and I see you kind of split these into multiple paragraphs, but I think it happens a few times, is you don't really have a concluding sentence, which should ideally tie back to the question and sort of provide some importance to the paragraph. And so I think that's really important to put in there, and it would be a good revision to make. Because your reader should know when you finish, right? Your reader should be like, oh, okay, that wrapped it up and the paragraph is done. So that would be something to go back and add. All right, the next thing I looked at was evidence. I thought that, and I'm going to mark this because I forgot to, but I thought you did a great job selecting evidence. I like how you have an abundance quote here, quote about Asia, quote about automation. So that was great. I also think you're doing an awesome job, Vicky, on embedding your evidence, and you're doing something I don't see a lot of sophomores do, so I want to commend you and say good job on that, is that you're using these little chunks of quotes, and if I didn't have the quote marks there, it would just read as a super smooth, nice sentence, which is actually exactly what we want. So great job there. Those looked really good to me. And you were even using brackets, and that was just really great. Next, I looked at commentary, and I think, Vicky, you have good commentary, and I was trying to find the piece I looked at in particular. I think it was down here. Yeah, so when you were saying this quote is basically about how automation is changing the world, and I liked that you tied that back to our directed thinking. So you were like, this is where the right brainers, come into play. I thought that was great. The issue I noticed is that a lot of times you'll have a second quote here, which we want, but you don't have any commentary after it. And so remember, we always have to have some commentary because I want to know, why did you choose this quote to answer the question? So just make sure you don't forget that. Last couple things, in-text citations, just a minor thing, but something we want to fix is no comma. And then conventions, I noticed some personal pronouns like us and we. Those are just a little bit informal for a formal paragraph. So I would just say something like, although many people don't think that, and that just elevates it a little bit. I thought your art-directed activities looked really good as well, and I commend you for writing this short story for chapter 1. I thought that was really great, and I definitely could tell that you understood the different sides of the brain. So good job, Vicky. Just wanted to give you a little feedback.